Let's go to Lou, who is calling in, who wants to take a victory lap on the Jets' shortcomings. Oh boy. Lou, what do you got?
So I'm calling back after a year and a half. This is the worst caller, as you dubbed me. My name is Lou, L-O-U. I don't know why you didn't understand it last time.
You didn't mention it the first time.
So let's get back. A year and a half ago, I said Becton would not play. He'd be injured all the time because he was too big. Not too fat, too big. You said I was wrong. Well, what happened 2 years later? He played one game. And again, he wasn't that good his first year. If you look at the facts, he played 70% of the snaps, was tied for fifth, most sacks allowed, tied for fifth, most penalties allowed. He wasn't that good. He was ranked 29th by PFF. That doesn't make him a stud. Makes him average.
Good. PFF ratings. That's always
I said Zach Wilson should not have been drafted. He was only drafted again because he's white. And, our owner is a MAGA guy. He's a MAGA guy. Connect the dots. And you laughed. Again, I'm the worst caller. And what happened 2 years later? Look at your track record. You gave the 2020 draft, and hey,
that was wrong.
You said Nick Sirianni was going to be a bust. Robert Saleh was better than him.
No, I didn't.
I don't get it. I don't get the fascination with Joe Douglas. He is a horrible GM. He is the first GM in our history to have 4 losing seasons. And all you guys do, all of you slappies on this internet,
slappies,
all of you guys do is defend him. I don't understand it. It's a horrible GM. He needs to go. Robert Saleh needs to go. I just don't get it. And again, you could dub me the worst call or whatever, but the facts are the facts. You give opinion, I give facts. Which one is right? Hey, and another thing. Anytime you or any of the other guys with a microphone, whatever, want to debate how bad Joe Douglas is, I'd be more than happy to. More than happy. But as a Jets fan for 42 years, he is horrible. He needs to go. I don't understand why you guys, all you do is defend him. The worst. He makes Idzik and McCagnon look good.
Okay, that's just ridiculous. Look, I don't think Joe Douglas is someone who doesn't deserve any kind of criticism because, as I said, both he and Robert Saleh should be on a playoff mandate for 2023. But if you're saying that John Idzik and Mike McCagnon are better general managers than Joe Douglas, I don't know what you are watching with your 2 eyeballs, Lou. And the reason why I didn't mention your name the first time is because you didn't, in that original call, anyone who is listening to this can go back. I clipped it. It's on the Matt O'Leary NY Extra channel. It's literally titled The Worst Caller for Just Jets. There is no name mentioned. And Lou has called back before, but any other time that he's called back, he's put his telephone number in him and wanted me to personally call him. One, I don't know Lou a damn thing. Why am I going to call him? You could call into the show and I put him on now because he didn't put his telephone number in it. Maybe put your social security number in it next time too. We'll broadcast that out there. What are we doing? The Mekhi Becton thing and the 2020 draft class, I was wrong about. I was wrong. I thought Denzel Mims was a good pick at the time. He was someone who I had a first round grade on. I liked Bryce Hall a lot. I was wrong. I didn't like the Braden Mann pick from that draft class. Seemed to be right about that. I hated the James Morgan pick. Definitely seemed to be right about that. And with the Zach Wilson, what are you talking about? The Jets are not the only team that had Zach Wilson above Justin Fields. Some had Justin Fields higher, which was fair. And if we want to pull the receipts on that as well, I leaned Zach Wilson. I did, but I always said it was more of like a 2A and 2B thing with Justin Fields. And I also said it would be ridiculous if Justin Fields fell any further than 3. But if you want to do the revisionist history game, and let's say the Jets did take Justin Fields number 2 overall, then Zach Wilson's not falling anywhere further past 3 because they wouldn't have taken Trey Lance over him. And they could say to the cows come home that they were going to take Mac Jones there. But Kyle Shanahan was trading up for Zach Wilson. That was almost an obvious pick. Everyone thought that would have been the case. It's not. Joe Douglas was not out on this limb as the only guy who thought Zach Wilson was the guy. That's just not true. And the other reference that you're bringing up is with the that Salah was going to be better than Sirianni or whatever, was talking about the CBS list that put out a rankings of the head coaches when they were hired before the 2021 season. Salah was last. Brandon Staley was first on the list. I said that Brandon Staley should not be first on the list. Guess what? He is worse than Robert Saleh, probably should have been fired, has had multiple bad decisions that have cost his team, one, in the playoffs, and number two, actually trying to make the playoffs. He had Joe Lombardi as his offensive coordinator who did everything and anything to hamstring his young quarterback in Justin Herbert. Like, that was bad. I also said Urban Meyer was going to be a disaster who was ranked higher, and guess what? He was. So, okay, I was wrong about Nick Sirianni being a little bit being better than Robert Saleh. But that list also had, and I also talked about how it was ridiculous about Urban Meyer and how it was ridiculous for Brandon Staley to be higher up on that list. But we can cherry pick and nitpick all we want about this, right? And honestly, I don't have any interest in calling you up and debating you or having you on my show. I'll do you one better. You can make your own YouTube channel. You could make your own podcast and then see how you do. See what your audience looks like and how you're doing. Because you could take a shot at me, Ryan, Green Bean, Richie, Jake Eisman, Jet Central. People are tuning into us. So you might not like what we have to say, but apparently a lot of Jet fans do. So I'll tell you what. Call back when you have your own podcast or YouTube channel and you have the 10,000 subscribers and you have the thousands of people watching your stuff every single day. Let me know. I'd be very, very curious to hear it because you know so well. Maybe they could hire you to be the general manager because you said fire Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. So maybe they could put you in charge. Or I don't know, that you didn't give an option for, you want them fired. Good. Who do you want to bring in then? No, there's never a solution. We just want to blindly fire people. That's fine. Do you even like the Jets? Like, why are you calling in and victory lapping the shortcomings? Like, are you happy that Mekhi Becton continues to get hurt? Are you happy about these things? It's the cynical Jet fan shit, man. If that's what you want to do, make your own YouTube channel that says Lou, the cynical Jets fan, and record your videos to your friends, and that's it. Don't bother me calling in. Because you didn't add anything of value. We laughed at you last time, and we're going to laugh again this time. You're right about Mekhi Becton getting hurt. But you're not right saying that Joe Douglas makes Mike McCagnon and John Idzik look good. You lost any possible respect to your argument that you had when you said that. You shot yourself right in the foot. That was it. It was over. Any possible credibility that you might have just had, you blew it. And spare me with the MAGA BS with the, like, oh my God, I hated that. It was that was not the reason why. Woody was not involved with that. It was Joe Douglas and this staff. It was probably the wrong pick. They probably should have took Fields or any other of those quarterbacks. But to say that it was because he was the white guy that they took him, if this Jets organization was so bad, do you think, and, closed-minded and, pro-MAGA or whatever, do you think they would have hired the first Muslim head coach in NFL history? That doesn't add up to that logic, but no. Let's just, blatantly spit out these things and say that they're facts when they're not. They're just crazy internet commenter talking points. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Lou, for your contribution. Let's close out with James calling in from New York.